President Trump seizing this oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. Anybody mad about this? Taking a show of hands. I got a couple of America First people, or claiming to be America First people, that I think are really probably paid Qatari online influencers who told me that, there you go, Stigall, this is the point, this is the problem, Stigall. He's not America First here. He's on the campaign trail talking about economics and affordability, and the next minute he's seizing Venezuelan oil tankers. So, Eddie, you say?
I say good.
I do too.
Yeah.
I don't have any. You and I have not talked about this, as is usually the case. I don't interview you ahead of the show, so I don't know what you're going to say, but I figure you're just as much on the finger on the pulse of this audience as anybody else's. You think anybody's angry about this?
I can't imagine they would be. We're blowing up narco-terrorists. Trump means business. If this is a way of showing that he does in fact mean business, let it be done.
Was a single shot fired?
That I'm aware of, no.
Yeah. Did we lose a single? Was anyone injured? Was any American military personnel injured or wounded or in any kind of imminent danger? There's always some danger, obviously, when you're carrying out any kind of exercise. But was there any loss of life or injury to military men or women, or any of them in harm's way as of today?
As far as I'm aware of, nope. Thankfully.
And do we view Venezuela as a problem or not?
Oh, we absolutely view Venezuela as a problem. Yes, indeed.
For a couple of different reasons. Chief among them is President Trump's concern that they are fast-tracking drugs into the country. The scourge of fentanyl, chief among them. So blowing up drug boats, as you mentioned. They're doing tons of business with Iran. It's pretty clear, which was the justification for the seizure of this oil tanker. Iran's a no-go. We've already obliterated their nuke program without, again, a single hair being harmed on the heads of any American military personnel. And that's not to speak of China either. Look, I don't know how else to say it, and maybe some will say this is, gauche or boorish or impolite or impolitic or something. I don't know, but I would just say, if we aren't in control of this hemisphere, and I don't mean literally governing it, but I do mean this is our neighborhood, and we're the head of the HOA, and we're not going to let the neighbors misbehave. And if they do, we're going to make sure everyone knows who's running this HOA. We're not going to tell you necessarily what you're doing inside your house or in your lawn, but when you start doing business with outside neighborhoods and bringing in riffraff, and we're going to stop that. We're going to put it down. We have a covenant, and it's ours. We're in control of this hemisphere, baby, and our flexing is important at times like these, and that's exactly what Donald Trump did. The seizure comes as the United States builds up its forces in the Caribbean, part of the campaign against the Maduro regime. In seizing this oil tanker off the coast, reading this from the New York Times, a dramatic escalation in the president's pressure campaign against Maduro. I don't think it's just against Maduro. I think it's also against the Chinese. I think it's also against Iran. I'll have some more thoughts about this coming up, but speaking at the White House before an event on a new visa program, the president kind of snuck this in here. It was funny, in the middle of the day yesterday, there were a number of people who kind of sat up and it took notice. They thought it was just going to be a normal event, and then he kind of snuck in there. Oh, by the way, we seized a massive oil tanker, number 67.
What happens to the oil on that ship?
Well, we keep it, I guess.
Where does it go? What port does it go to?
When you have to follow the tanker, you're a good newsman, just follow the tanker.
Do you know where it was
Follow it. Get a helicopter and follow the tanker.
Is it sure he's going to
But we're going to, I assume we're going to keep the
I don't know. Get a helicopter and chase it around if you want. What the hell do I care? My goal was stopping the transfer of the oil. When asked about the ship's oil, Trump said, well, we'll keep it, I guess. Why? Honestly, like, of everything there is to think about this entire this whole scene, the first thing that comes to the press's mind is, well, are you going to keep that oil? You can already hear it. And that's not your oil. You can't just steal from other countries. That's immediately where their mind went, right? That's what they're thinking. 3 U.S. officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe a law enforcement operation said the ship was carrying Venezuelan oil. They said there was no resistance from the crew, no casualties. The operation, the latest tactic in expanding an effort to squeeze Venezuela and pressure Maduro. The Trump administration has accused him of running narco-terrorist cartels to the United States and said September the United States has launched more than 22 known strikes against boats in the region, killing more than 80. The Trump administration insists, without publicly providing evidence, says the New York Times, the boats are smuggling drugs. Yeah, Trump's just bored and he's blowing up boats, fishermen in the Caribbean for fun, indiscriminately killing people. That's with no evidence they're carrying drugs. Well, except they're floating around trying to gather up the drugs. And that was the whole reason that you had a second House subcommittee hearing, isn't it? Because the guys weren't all killed in the first strike and they were literally trying to gather up the drugs that were blown apart in the boat and they got hit again. And the whole point of the thing was you saw them trying to reconstitute their drug run. Well, their boat was clearly disabled. You shouldn't have fired on them a second. Which is it? They are or they aren't. There's no evidence they're running drugs. That's right. They're just out fishing for mackerel. So stupid and disingenuous. Attorney General Pam Bondi posting a video yesterday showing armed forces rappelling from a helicopter onto the deck of the tanker. Bondi said the operation included the FBI, Homeland Security, and the Coast Guard, and supported by the Pentagon. She said the tanker had been used to transport sanctioned oil from Venezuela to Iran. U.S. officials said they expect additional seizures in the coming weeks as part of the administration's efforts to weaken the Maduro government by undermining its oil market. Good. By the way, this is nothing but good news for our oil prices while we're at it. Maduro, no good. Iran, no good. They're not allowed to do business, and that's exactly what Trump caught them doing. And the president of the HOA in this hemisphere said, no talking over the fence in this neighborhood. That's why we've got fences. You're not allowed to do that. We're taking your tanker. And the press's only curiosity about the whole thing was, what happens to that oil? Trump, I don't know, get a helicopter and follow it around. I don't care what happens to the oil. That's not the point of the damn thing. We're trying to choke off goons and drug runners and terrorists.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.